Every season has its peaks and valleys, both literally and figuratively. And when you sign yourself up for a fall filled with public land do-it-yourself hunts as we do, it's a recipe for a healthy serving of humility. This season was different, though. We experienced far more peaks than valleys. But success didn't come easy. The valleys we did cross were deep. We found success at moments we didn't expect, and difficulties in places that normally provide opportunities. Hunting doesn't always involve killing an animal. That's the way it's always been and always will be. There's simply too much outside of a hunter's control to expect any sort of guarantee. But when success comes, it's a reason to celebrate, give thanks, and remember that true success can only be found within the journey.
There is nothing quite like hunting in Alaska. The birds, the marine life, the people, and the lifestyle, everything about Alaska is so unique. Growing up in the Sonoran Desert of southern Arizona, I spent my life about as far away as you can get from this great state. Between hunting and family trips, this is my 9th trip up north, and I still feel like it's my first time. Words literally cannot describe the feeling of pure awe. My first trip to Kodiak was 7 years ago. Nate and I camped on the island. We saw tons of deer, and I took a stellar buck in a storybook setting. It's an honor to be here. Thank you, old man. 3 years ago, I hunted from a boat with friends from Arizona. We had beautiful weather and incredible food, but it was the camaraderie of the boat that convinced me I had to do this again, but with Mark. Since that last hunt, I gained a new hunting partner, my son-in-law, Kevin Guillen. Kevin had never even been to Alaska before this trip. Nate and Levi Soplin would be behind the cameras, and my good friend and Kodiak veteran Jeremy Ennis would round out our team. Our flight to the boat was perfect. We lifted off just after sunrise while clear skies and calm waters welcomed us to the island. I wish I could have bottled the enthusiasm on the boat as we geared up to head to shore, having no idea what this week had in store.
That's gonna happen again for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look and put it back out.
We made it to the boat. Looks like all our gear's here. We're all set. We're pretty fired up to get going. This is just a spectacular afternoon. It could very well happen that this is the very best weather we have the entire trip. So we're pretty excited. I mean, it's nice because it's barely 11, almost not even 11 o'clock in the morning. So we got a good 4 or 5 hours. This is a spot where I did not hunt here last time. I remember being in here, but we didn't hunt. I can't remember why. But yeah, we're here. I mean, it's real, and it's again, it's one of those places you get here and I keep having to pinch myself because it's just not long ago I was in Phoenix, Arizona, and how many hours and days we've spent to get here, and then we are here, ready to hunt. This trip is years in the making. I mean, the first time I came to Alaska and I hunted Dall sheep, not that far from here. And that very same year, I hunted on Kodiak Island. And as crazy cool as that Dall sheep hunt was, I felt like the adventure level here was matched the Dall sheep hunt in every way. So ever since then, I've always wanted to bring Mark here. Mark's been to Alaska, but never hunting. And then my son-in-law Kevin, he's never been here. He'd never even been to Alaska. So he's just on the other side of the bay from us right now. I've just wanted to bring him because it's just, I don't know, I think it's the coolest hunt in Alaska. I mean, I haven't done them all, but this is cool.
When we flew in here, I mean, we flew through this gorge right here, and he cut those engines, and it goes silent, and you have all this stuff around you. You can see the boat in the bay. I mean, this is about as much adventure as you can have. It takes a second for it to sink in, like what you're actually doing and where you actually are.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at the almost, the tip of America out here in these islands, and it's just mind-blowing.
This is a scene from Lord of the Rings, and we're just spectators. Yeah, it's so wild. And already we've seen, 5, 6 deer?
4 or 5 deer. We've been here, yeah.
Been standing on land for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The Western Hunter is presented by Browning, the best there is. Benchmade Knives, the most advanced hunting knives ever. Easton Archery, made in USA since 1922. Option Archery, bringing target precision to hunting camp. Matthews Archery. Crispy Boots. And Western Hunter Magazine.
So we're watching this buck. He's a 3x3, but like a mature buck. He's kind of a small 3x. He's small, short thirds, but he's a mature buck. He's a big deer. And we thought we just lost him because he went and followed a doe into another ravine, just going the wrong direction for this late in the day. Now he showed back up, kind of wandering back our direction. It would be one of those deals he'd have to just keep making a mistake before we could get close to him, before we'd run out of time. But he's acting like he might do it.
If this was first light, this would kind of be a no-brainer, but at this point, we are kind of reaching a point where we have to start thinking about the timing of today. We just got the brief on the boat about sunset or last light is pretty much, you gotta be back on shore to get picked up. Dark is not a choice to get picked up, and so they're pretty serious about that, and so probably shouldn't be pushing that timetable too much. So this deer is gonna need to get a lot closer for us to be able to get over there, make the shot, process the deer, get them packed up and back to shore before we hit that pretty harsh cutoff. So you definitely need to think about that while you're making these decisions. You don't have the luxury of hiking out in the dark and processing in the dark. So it's just something we got to think about, but he could make a mistake. He could just walk right towards us and make our lives easy. So there's always that, but we'll just keep watching him and see what happens.
So no more than like 5 or 10 seconds after we hit the beach, Jeremy spots a buck like 700 yards up the hill, and we only got to look at him for like 5 seconds, but he looks pretty good, so we're just gonna run up this little knob and see if we can find him and get a better look. He's at least a 3x3. I don't know if he's got eye guards or not. how fast that happened. Oh my God. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, for the first time since we got here, because we started going as soon as we hit the island, we can kind of sit down and almost just like take it all in for a second, because this place is just beyond words.
You're one of the most amazing places I've ever hunted.
This segment is presented by Wilderness Athletes, fuel for the rugged.
Here we are, about maybe an hour and a half into this first day of hunting, and we were just blown away. Like, as soon as we hit the shore, Jeremy glassed this guy up at about, I don't know, 700 yards away. And we just started putting moves up the mountain, and it took us a little while, and we didn't actually then lay eyes on him again until he was maybe 200-300 yards away, and we just kept poking away. And he gave us one quick glance, almost had a shot at him, and I'm glad we didn't take that shot. It was kind of through some grass. He went down, back up, and had like a 119-yard poke on him. Jeremy stopped him, and I couldn't be more, grateful for this deer on day one, just the opportunity to be in this place. It's just really incredible. It was quite an adventure just getting here, just 3 planes to get here. We were supposed to fly into the boat yesterday morning, and it was just too windy. So we sat around at the port all morning and all day yesterday.
50-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah. So we were grateful we didn't, chance it, and had just an unbelievable flight in this morning. Got to the boat. It's just been go, 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 and this is truly like the first moment we've had in, all day, just to kind of actually take a minute and soak it in, and it's a hell of a moment. Look at this deer. This is what you come here for. You come here for anything, but this is truly a special deer, and I'm just grateful for the whole opportunity and the whole experience to be with Jeremy and, Chris and Mark and Nate. They're somewhere else out here in this big old valley. So yeah, I'm beyond ecstatic about this.
All in all, it was a heck of an evening. We saw, in my opinion, a ton of deer. I honestly can't remember a day on Kodiak where I saw this many deer, and it was one afternoon. We had to be 50 deer, right?
Any hunt, any area, that would be a great amount of deer, no matter what you're expecting.
Over $15.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're pretty excited to get back because we heard a shot, and hopefully Kevin and Levi and Jeremy were over there where that shot came from. Obviously, there's not a lot of hunting pressure out here, so odds are pretty good that it was them. So we're hoping that we get back to the boat and there's a bunch of smiles and deer meat hanging there in the boat. But hopefully the weather holds and we can stay in this spot and hunt this spot again tomorrow, because we saw at least 3 bucks. I'd be super excited to shoot with my bow, and I know Mark's really trigger happy, and he would.
There's one that's intriguing me a lot. So.
Yeah, that was what do you call him? The freakazoid. Freakazoid. Yeah, that was just great evening. It'd be nice if we have decent weather and a whole day tomorrow to really be able to work that valley more, and be able to get close to some of these deer. Because we didn't see deer really close, but we saw a ton of deer. So it's a great spot.
Most of the day to get a little farther in there, we could get more into the action. We were definitely seeing stuff deeper that we just didn't have much time to get into. So.
Yeah, we only really had a couple hours where if we'd seen something, we had time to get it done before dark. But yeah, can't wait for the sun to come up tomorrow.
The Western Hunter is presented by Swarovski Optic, see the unseen. Wilderness Athlete, fuel for the rugged. Outdoorsman's packs and tripods. On X Hunt, know where you stand. Chally, the world's finest optics mounting system. And Browning Ammunition.
We had a couple things happen overnight last night. One being the snow melt that I really wasn't expecting. It melted a lot more than I thought it would overnight in Alaska. This is exactly where we were yesterday, and this was covered in snow. And I mean, it melted up to, looks like 800 or 900 feet. And that's just something weird that I wasn't really expecting. It makes the glassing just that much different today. The wind also picked up. Yesterday was pretty much dead calm all day, and overnight it picked up, which not only makes the hunting a little more interesting, but it makes sleeping on a boat just a little more interesting. And then we also had a boat pull into the same bay as us last night, which we can only assume that they're hunting, and we can only hope that they are going to share the bay respectfully. And we haven't seen them hit shore yet, but we'll just kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. And there's a couple deer here that I'd really like to find again. We saw some deer yesterday that were absolutely worth chasing after. So hope that we can find them, or maybe even something a little bit better.
Deer activity is super slow this morning. I've seen 2 does briefly, and we know there's a ton of deer in here. But yesterday it was sunny, it was cold, and it was still. There was snow on the ground. We saw a ton of deer. This morning it's windy, it's warmer, so we're gonna start moving up. I'm sure they're gonna get up and start feeding sometime. And this is not a bad day for a deer in Kodiak Island. They're pretty used to this. We're not, but they are. It was kind of sketchy because we had obviously some other hunters, but that skiff came out and went back to the boat, and then they just hooked up and towed out. So we basically are back to where we have this entire basin to ourselves for sure, which is it's the good sign. It's a good sign for the morning. But anyways, we're gonna hit some bear trails and just start working our way up this valley, and hopefully deer start getting up, because again, we know there's deer here. We were just packing up to leave. I mean, literally packed up, packs on. Mark looked over and saw this deer standing over on a ridge here, like 350 yards over here. And it looked like a good buck. We all looked at him and said, that looks like a good buck, but we didn't get a good look at him. He may have winded us or seen us or something, because he did act like he was kind of spooked. Either there was a doe over there, but he definitely looked our way. So I think we're just gonna be patient here, because we should be able to see him again from here. Get a good look at him, make sure that he's deer we want to go after, but I'm pretty dang sure. Which is cool. We were just talking about it's the first buck we've seen today. That's the 5th deer we've seen all morning. So we were just talking about what our time frame looked like today, what we could do, and what time we had to start thinking about moving back. And buck stands up.